Flew off from the 19th hole way over there on the golf course. It's a heavy sign. Into my backyard.
Terry, what was it like last night when all this was going on?
I was actually sitting out back. I woke up, TV was on, it was awful. That was a freight train.
Yeah, that emergency alert system probably saved our lives.
You got the emergency alert?
Yes, sir.
When did you know you were in trouble?
Well, I walked out and I was like, it's kind of tornado weather, and walked back in and kind of just stayed awake because I saw where it was going to be around the airport, knowing that's a mile or so away. I stayed awake, and then probably we had about 30 seconds to make it to the tub once I heard the noise.
Then what happened?
Well, I called my son because he was in the room right here, and so we got in the tub, but our walls, the bottoms of our walls are cut out right now from the flood. So all the wind was whipping in the bathroom anyways, because we didn't have walls in there. My husband made it to the couch and hid behind the couch and held on, and he watched, well, he didn't watch the roof came off, he watched the ceiling drop on him.
Wow. And what did it sound like as all this was happening?
It's a loud roar, just like everybody describes. We got 2 alerts, so we were awake and we were waiting, we were listening. People think the alerts are annoying until you need it.
So yeah, we're at Ridgeview Apartments in Crystal River, not far from Copeland Park, and last night a tornado ripped through this apartment complex, and this is an apartment complex with a vulnerable population, and so we've experienced over the last month so many people displaced from Hurricane Idalia. Again, vulnerable population in our community has been displaced. Our United Way has been working hard to shelter those folks and help find them housing with our other agency partners. And just when we were seeing light at the end of the tunnel, here comes another natural disaster, and there will be many, many people that are displaced from this event as well.
Any idea how many people you're going to have to find housing for tonight?
You know, I've just talked to the officials on the ground here, and they will get a number probably later today to find out exactly how many. But you have to figure, just based on the experience from Hurricane Idalia, I wouldn't be surprised if we have 30 to 50 people that are displaced and in need of shelter after this event.
Any injuries that you know of from all this, or did everybody come through okay?
You know what is a miracle to me, because when you come into this apartment complex, it is an absolute disaster zone. I saw a friend of mine that's a deputy out on the street, and first question obviously in something like this is anyone hurt? And it is a miracle, thank God, that there are no injuries that have been reported as a result of this catastrophe.
Were you here last night when all this happened?
2:20, I heard something, and then I got up, you know. Then all this happened, you know. The ceiling falling in, pouring rain. Then my TV, the ceiling by my TV caved in the apartment. About 1/3 of my living room was, you know, no ceiling.
Wow. But you weren't injured, I take it?
No, luckily not. No. In fact, I was by the door before that all came down, and something told me to turn around, and I got to go to the counter and get something. Just a matter of seconds, then the whole front came down.
So it started early, about between 2 and 3 o'clock this morning in Crystal River. We had a lot of thunderstorms rolling through that turned into tornadoes. They've confirmed that with us. A lot of substantial damage that's just going to be very hard for us to build back immediately after we just gone through what we have with Hurricane Idalia. Right now we have about 2,500 people without power. We're trying to get all the power lines out of the highways and off the main thoroughfares for FDOT. The National Guard just showed up and they're helping us take down some trees, and we're working in a great partnership with the county. I was grateful to see that the superintendent canceled school today for all the county for the schools. We did have some damage to one of our schools here in Crystal River, and I believe our community is going to come back stronger. And they've been here, done this before, but this is a little bit different with the wind event. So it's going to be more work than we were bargaining for, I believe.
There's some bad damage around town, but this by far is the worst I've seen yet. Can you comment on this particular development?
Yeah, you know how those tornadoes tend to jump. It seemed like it jumped right over the street to here, and there was a lady that was inside the house that's behind me that was in her bathtub with some debris that had came down on her, as well as a gentleman that's just now leaving on this side over here. Thank you to the Red Cross for showing up. They're helping out with some hotel vouchers and kind of get people back on their feet after this traumatic situation that they've been through.
The National Weather Service is here today to look at the storm survey damage and figure out when did we issue the warning, could we have issued it sooner. We're here to try to find out a better way to get the warnings out further in advance so people have more time to protect themselves and their family.
Is it your work here that will determine what kind of storm this was and what its intensity might have been?
So the National Weather Service is doing a damage survey. We're going up and down the path of the tornado, and we're estimating the wind speed at each location, and we'll have the final determination later this afternoon of how strong this tornado was. I can say right now, though, the winds were over 100 miles an hour.
Okay. As far as damage you've seen, this place looks like it really took the brunt of it.
So we've seen a lot of roof damage. I'm assuming the tornado must have been elevated off the ground just a little bit, because if it was on the ground, I suspect all of these homes in this neighborhood would have been wiped off their foundations. So they got really lucky.